Well, howdy there, Internet people. It's Bo again. So, tonight we're going to talk about how Disney got frozen feet. I know I'm a little late to this conversation, but tonight I watched both films back to back with my daughter. And I'd never actually sat through the second one. And I just assumed that it provided a little bit of closure to something I think pretty much everybody that watched the first one noticed. Well, maybe not everybody, but a lot of people noticed. Disney as an organization always has subtext. Peter Pan, for example, it had a lot of subtext. They plan everything, even their construction projects. When Disneyland went up in the 50s, everything was planned, down to the last detail, pulled influences from all over the world. They did have one slight issue because of a plumber strike. They had to choose between working toilets or running water in the fountains. They wisely chose to have the toilets working. But overall, the company plans every detail about everything. It's always been there. There's always subtext. It hasn't always been good subtext, looking back on it, but it's always been there. Now, if you haven't seen the films, there are going to be some mild spoilers in this. The first film, the first movie, there's two princesses. One, well, she's a little bit different. She is a little bit different. She's a little colder. Frigid, even, might be how some people would describe someone like this. She has parents who are accepting of her differences in the beginning. And then, of course, there's an incident, and they go to see what might be considered religious leaders. And then from that point forward, she's locked in a closet. Well, not a closet. I mean, that's a little too on the nose. She's locked in her room. Now, the younger sister, Anna, she has run of the castle, but she's still locked away. A mishap befalls the parents. Elsa, the older sister, well, she becomes queen. Coronation happens. They open up the castle. She still has to keep that secret, though. Has to keep it concealed. Don't want people to know. Now, her younger sister, she falls in love with the first dude she meets. Like, literally the first guy. This rubs Elsa the wrong way, of course. I mean, as might happen if your younger sibling found true love and you were still trying to find yourself. This leads to an argument. And in the middle of this argument, Elsa's secret is exposed to the room. People, being what they are, fear what they don't really understand, and they ridicule. She leaves. As often happens, when someone you love leaves, the whole town gets a little bit colder. Elsa takes off into the hills. Her only companion is her imaginary Canadian boyfriend from childhood, a snowman who wants nothing from her. Her only male counterpart, only male influence. Not a romantic influence, of course. I mean, they didn't put a beard on him, surprisingly. Now, it being a Disney movie, of course, the younger sister comes to her and everybody goes back and saves the day and all is right with the world. At the end of that film, if you're actually watching it, not, just watching it for the kids, if you're actually paying attention to it, Elsa can move ice and snow, but she's different in another way too. It's plain, it's there. And the assumption is that the second film would confirm that. Because what good is subtext if it isn't eventually acknowledged? So the second film starts off with them as kids again. Elsa's playing with some dolls, and Anna comes in and makes the prince and princess kiss, and Elsa says, ew, because she's a little different. And then it's them older. There she is. She's safe with her close friends and family, those people who know her secret, and she's comfortable with that. But she hears this female voice calling her out into the world. She's a little scared to take that trip. But she goes, and her sister swear a pact they're going to do everything together. And along the way, they uncover some family secrets, like her grandfather was not nice to people like her. And eventually, Elsa has to go down into a cave of a rather provocative shape, which her sister does not come with her, because I imagine that'd be a little weird. And when she gets down there and of course saves the day there, for some unknown reason, ice crystals begin to glow in almost a complete rainbow of colors. But it's never acknowledged. The world gets set right again, but there's never that overt nod. There's never that acknowledgement of the subtext that existed through both films. I mean, come on, the only character that Elsa ever had a moment with of any kind was another woman at a campfire, and as they're sitting there looking at each other, of course, the giants walk by and the earth moves. I mean, come on. But it's never acknowledged. And it does. It bothers me, partly because I enjoy subtext, and eventually it has to be acknowledged. Otherwise, it's a lot like those water fountains in a perfect scene. It's something that's left undone. The other reason I think it irritates me is that there is a whole lot of little girls out there that could probably use a nod from Elsa. Yeah, I can understand Disney's point of view for not wanting to put it out there too overtly and anger the religious right. But come on, give her a rainbow flag tattoo on her ankle or something in Frozen 3. Give us something. Because the fact is, Disney is a massive machine. Disney could be an engine for social change. There is still a lot of bigotry. And Disney having Elsa acknowledge how she's different could help a whole lot of people, well, let it go. Anyway, it's just a thought. Y'all have a good night.